Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/Tales of Neckbeard because everybody loves those storytime format videos. And if you guys would like to be absolutely amazing and help out the channel, let's see if we can get this video to 1,000 likes and leave a comment down below. Lastly, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. Let's go. Our first story comes to us from username Dying Jinx. I was friends with a legbeard. Hi my lovely people. Anyone is free to use this in a video on YouTube. I seriously doubt anyone will, but still a heads up. This is my first story, so please be gentle with criticism. Thank you. Yeah, you thought you wouldn't be in a video, but now look at yous. Hope you enjoy. I'll start this by introducing myself. My name is Jinx. This is my persona name. I don't want to use my real name due to privacy issues, and I'm non-binary. I'm about 5'8" with a mullet with black and red hair. I'm 16 going on 17, and this took place when I was 14 or 15. I'm a little chubby, but I hold my weight pretty well. I love things that have to involve horror and anything that has to do with it. Other people that will be involved in this story follows. My dear friend Gala, not her real name, again private issues. She's one of my closest friends and I'd do anything for her. She's a Monster Energy loving and a great artist. We've known each other since the 6th grade and we are both juniors now. She's about 5'6" and fairly skinny, but not in a bad way. She has long beautiful blonde hair that's mid-back length. She's involved a good amount in the story. Gala's mom, I'll call her Star, a small but feisty woman. She can be a sweetheart at times, but if you piss her off, she will say something. She's a great cook and an amazing mom who works her butt off. Legbeard, we'll call her Natalie, a creepypasta that she was obsessed with. She even went by that name all the time. She's morbidly obese, at least 400 pounds. I don't think she knew what a shower or basic hygiene was. This smell would always protrude from her and it made me cringe. She wore the same clothes all the time, a black or white shirt, shorts, and leggings underneath. She never wore socks with her shoes, so the smell was awful. It made me gag sometimes, it was so bad. Sorry for the long introduction, now on for the story. We met back in 2018 during the summer. I was 14 and she was 17. Me and Natalie bonded over our love for creepypasta. I still like it to this day. Some of the characters are comfort characters in a way. Anyway, I used to go by Toby back in the day. I identified as male. As of now, I have detransitioned and go by a different name when I first met her. We were actually good friends for a while and did a lot together. We had sleepovers, went to the mall, the roller rink, etc. Me and her were pretty damn close. There was a lot that I put up with, but at the time, I just shrugged it off. I didn't know anything about legbeards or neckbeards at the time, so there was a lot of red flags that I missed. For a while, everything was fine, but then she started doing some questionable things. She would text or call me out of the blue, complaining how her depression was getting out of hand. I myself suffer from MDD and PTSD, so I did my best to sympathize with her, knowing how hard it could be. Looking back at it, I realized it was all BS and she did a lot of what she did for attention, which to me now is upsetting because she was almost an adult and I was 14. There was an incident on my birthday. My birthday is in December and I turned 15. I had a really bad birthday with some things going on with family. That's another story for another time, so it wasn't a good night. The party was held at a skating rink. What can I say? I love to roller skate from about 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. She went to the bathroom to scratch her arm and came back out and showed me and my friends with crocodile tears saying how she self-harmed. Me and my friends were baffled by this, but I did my best to try and calm her down. Honestly, at this point in the day, I was tired and didn't want to deal with her pity party. When the party was over, she put on a show on how her parents were these awful people. They're not bad, just irresponsible when it comes to their kids' actions, and told us that her dad beats her, etc. He didn't, and never laid a hand on her, by the way. No one was able to let her come home with them, so she had to call up her mom. When she was on the phone, it sounded like she had told her mom that she was getting a ride home already. Another incident, she came over to stay with me for a few days because apparently some stuff was going on at home. Her dad was on a business trip and her mom was basically a stay-at-home mom. She told me a story of lies that I bought into it. I felt bad at the time, so I talked to my mom and she said it was fine. It was an awful experience, mainly because she didn't shower at all when she was over. I don't think Natalie even put on deodorant at all. She had changes of clothes thankfully, but they smelled of like mildew and BO. When she finally went went home, I had to keep my windows open and light some candles to get the smell out. It was just gross. The incident that crossed the line was when me, Natalie, and Gala went to the mall during spring break in 2019. I was just getting over being sick and felt good enough to go out. Gala messaged me asking if I was free, and she had told Natalie about it. I said sure, and we all went together. From the beginning, it was a mess since we had to take the bus there. We got thrown around once or twice. Eventually, we made it to the mall, and we were hungry. We hadn't eaten all morning, so we decided to get some food. Afterwards, we decided we'd go to Hot Topic. We all brought our own money. Me and Natalie combined our money together, and I got a shirt, and she got some mystery bags. When we came back out, Gala had asked for her wallet. When she got it back from Natalie, who was holding it in her bags, her face went white. Where's my money? She had brought about $30 for herself. It's all gone. Guys, what the frick? I turned to look at Natalie, and she looked red in the face with embarrassment. Well, I borrowed it so I could buy these things for me and Jinx. I thought you brought your own money. Didn't we agree to that? I guess I forgot it at home. Sorry about that. Gala was now really upset. She had given Natalie her wallet to hold since she didn't have any pockets or a bag. I had one, but it was pretty much full, and Natalie had offered. Natalie didn't even ask Gala about borrowing money. Natalie was 18 now, so she could be charged with theft. Gala began crying and was holding on to me for comfort. Natalie, what the heck? Why didn't you just ask her? You stole money from her, and that's not okay. Well, why don't you just return what you got? You can return mystery bags. She smiled like she had a good point, but it just pissed me off more. No, I got this with all the money I had. She rolled her eyes and scoffed at me. Gala was still upset. I had some money left, enough for us to get home on the bus, but then Natalie wanted to use it to get food. Neither me or Gala wanted to eat. My dumb butt gave her the money for food and told her to make sure there was enough for the bus home. She said okay in a nasty attitude and walked off. I was still trying to comfort Gala, considering she was upset and her trust with Natalie had been broken. A few minutes later, Natalie came back with food and no money. She had gotten a burger, a drink, and fries. Natalie, where's the leftover money? I said to get something small so we had money for the bus ride home. She shrugged. Oh well, I wanted this and thought maybe we could get a ride home from your mom. My mom was working and she knew this. My jaw dropped and Gala glared at Natalie. Dude, what the frick? I almost yelled at her. She seemed to have cowered back while stuffing her face. Gala began to get more upset. She contacted her mom and told her our situation. Gala's mom was not happy. She didn't know yet about Natalie stealing from Gala, so she was willing to give us a ride. Gala had spent the night at Natalie's house the night prior, so her things were still over there. We dropped off Natalie and Gala went inside to get her things. When we got to the house, Natalie said she would pay her back. When Natalie and Gala went inside, I explained the situation to Star, and she looked like she would stab someone. I kid you not, this woman was pissed. What? Are you freaking serious? Go in there and tell her to get the money back now. So when Gala and Natalie came back out, I just kinda went off on Natalie, saying that she needed to pay her back. She said she didn't have the money, which was a lie. She had the money she had left at home. I was tired of her at this point, so I just went off on her, annoyed and upset. She was crying, but I didn't care. All the weight had been lifted off my shoulders after I did that. I didn't talk to her after that day and stay away from her at all cost. I'm in a different city now, so I won't have to worry about seeing her. Too long didn't read. Legbeard was an awful friend. I ended the friendship and also stole from you. Our next story comes to us from username SuddenPineapple821. The time a neckbeard almost killed my ex. First time poster, long time lurker. I have a story that I've been thinking of sharing for a while. This happened to me several years ago in college. TLDR will be at the bottom for any of you impatient folk. Please excuse spelling and formatting errors. I'm on mobile and running on very little sleep, but I'm going to do my best. There won't be much dialogue, but anyways, here goes. Cast me 20-something, average looking, super into all of that nerdy stuff. Pokebeard, PB for short, our antagonist and neckbeard. He was skinny and had decent hygiene. However, he always wore a trench coat, fedora, neckbeard, and usually carried a knife. The last part never bothered me, as I usually had one too. Loves Pokemon, and we played it a lot lot of it together. Gabby, not her real name, she was a mutual friend of myself, and Pokebeard happens to be a criminal science major. DB, short for not a nice name. He was my boyfriend at the time. I have stories about him too, but I gotta figure out where to post them. JP, my ex-boyfriend and high school sweetheart. The reason I was friends with Pokebeard. I have nothing against him, we just didn't work. JP and I went to high school together and ended up both going to the same college. He was a year behind me and thus went to freshman orientation without me this year. When I came up to school that year, he introduced me to his friends he met at orientation, Pokebeard. PB and I didn't get along at all. I got some weird vibes from him. He claimed to be bipolar and not the most stable, but also was not seeking help. He seemed okay for the most part, but would have moments that scared me. One time I was in the community kitchen with JP and PB, and I made a sassy comment to PB, and he responded with, "I'm going to put your hand on that hot burner." From then on, I told JP I wasn't comfortable around him, but JP insisted, saying that I was overreacting. He actually threatened to dump me if I made him choose between PB and I. Over time, I warmed up to PB and just learned to avoid him on his bad days. We started playing Pokemon together, and I eventually became pretty close friends with him. He even got this adorable little rabbit that I watched for a while when he was on break. When things went south with JP, PB was the only friend in the whole group that stayed friends with me over JP. Well, and Gabby, but I usually kept her at arm's length. Over the next year, I started dating DB and was head over heels for him at all times. I was still close with PB as we both mutually decided that we were not interested in dating ever, but were still really close. I drove him to work a lot since he didn't have a car and let him borrow my bicycle for a while so he didn't have to walk. He still wore that trench coat even in the hot summer heat. He even came to work with me a couple of times. I drove a semi for a farmer in the area for harvest. Everything was great. And then it happened. I caught DB cheating for the first time. I was devastated. My younger, dumber self never thought that could happen to me. Yeah, he started out super late a lot, but he was just staying late at work, right? No, PB was pissed and so was I, but I took him back because I loved him and couldn't pay the apartment alone. Everything slowly went back to normal, or so I thought. Close to Christmas, I went to a party with DB and got super drunk. I drank late into the morning, and when he was passed out, I looked through his phone and caught him cheating again. I freaked out and he got really scary. I ended up calling the cops, who came to make sure we were okay. They actually took a gun from the home since DB was threatening to hurt himself. DB's friend never forgave me for this. I called PB because I didn't know what else to do and couldn't drive home. He came with a friend and drove my pickup back to my apartment. Well, guess what my young dumb butt did? I took DB back because he manipulated me into it. PB was pissed that DB, and for obvious reasons, but he supported my decision and wanted to make sure I was okay. Well, it was getting close to winter break, and because PB lived close to my hometown, I would bring him home with me, and then he was picked up from my house. I let him stay on my couch so we could leave really early. The ride home was fine, but super awkward. I couldn't put my finger on it at the time. When I got back from break, I took PB back to school and everything was fine. I was back with DB and nothing was weird. Then I got a Facebook message from a concerning Gabby. She talked to PB and he confessed to her, and she thought that I needed to know. That night, he stayed with me before going home. He snuck into my room and stood over me and DB with a knife. Last minute, he decided not to stab DB and go back to the couch. I felt violated and scared. I messaged PB, who confessed to me as well. I went to the school counselor to find out what to do next. I don't actually think he wanted to hurt me and was in his messed up mind trying to protect me. I didn't want to ruin his life, but he needed help. Long story short, he was not expelled only because I insisted he wasn't. I didn't get a restraining order, but he was told to not contact me or he would be expelled. He ended up with a year of probation and a charge that would come off his record in a couple of years. He had some minor court fees and a year in county jail was dangled over his head. The main thing was that he was ordered to go to therapy therapy and follow all recommended treatments, including medication. Gabby flipped on me. She called me a POS for putting her friend in prison. Remember that she's a criminal justice major and the one who told me that this happened. I would never have known otherwise. That all happened with this story. I have more I need to post. Let me know if you're interested. PB, I truly hope you're doing okay, and I really don't hate you. I hope you stayed in therapy and on medication. TLDR, Neckbeard sneaks into my room and stands over me and my DBX with a knife. Edit, thanks for letting me vent. You can choose to not believe me, but that's totally okay. I still get some nasty nightmares about this event and some other things that happened in this time of my life. I really wish I could go back and redo the last several years. I was not the brightest and very easily manipulated. Also, I apologize for the horrible writing. I tried. And with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you would like to be absolutely amazing, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below to get yourself involved and start up a good old wholesome internet discussion. And lastly, if you have not already, subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.